Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to welcome a guest to our committee today. Richard Adee is the owner and operator of Adee Honey Farms, which was founded way back in 1957. I think he must have started it when he was about 10 years old. But they are a honey production and crop pollination farm, and they have throughout the United States facilities in Nebraska, California, Texas, and Mississippi, in addition to their operation headquartered in South Dakota. But Mr. Adee's company is one of the largest beekeeping operations in the United States, with more than 75,000 bee colonies. Has been very active in policy and research issues on behalf of the beekeeping industry. Is currently chairman of the Legislative Committee of the American Honey Producers Association, and has also served, I might add, as president of that organization for 15 years. And in addition, he's had a long-standing relationships with the scientists and program leaders at USDA's Agricultural Research Service in the bee research labs, and frequently consults with them on issues relating to honeybee health. So he is the quintessential family business, personifies the qualities of entrepreneurship and hard work, and has built this company to what it is today. And I'm very honored to have him represent not only our state of South Dakota, but the honey industry here today. And I would add that he makes South Dakota a sweeter place to live. So Richard, welcome. Good to have you here.
Mr. Adee, please proceed.
Chairman Wyden, Ranking Member Thune, and members of the committee, we applaud you for holding this timely hearing on enforcing America's trade laws. My name is Richard Adee, president of Adee Honey Farms, past president of the American Honey Producers Association, and current chairman of the association's Washington Legislative Committee. I am testifying today on behalf of the association and its members. Protecting American beekeepers, the domestic honey industry, and the billions of dollars in agricultural output that rely on pollination services has been and should remain a national priority. For the honey industry, our challenges continue to mount each year. As I speak here today, in agricultural output that rely on pollination services has been and should remain a national priority. For the honey industry, our challenges continue to mount each year. As I speak here today, our industry faces hardships as a result of severe duty evasion and customs fraud. Dubbed honey laundering, some have gone as far as calling this the largest food fraud in U.S. history. A prominent Toronto newspaper recently ran the following headline. It said, "A growing multi-million-dollar laundering scheme designed to keep the endless supply of cheap and often contaminated Chinese honey moving into North America is putting the domestic industry on the verge of crisis." Importantly, this trade problem affects all segments of the industry, including honey producers, large pollination dependent on crops, packers, importers, and consumers alike. Producers struggle under the impact of increasingly divergent market prices. One price for legitimate honey and another rock-bottom price for transshipped honey. Pollination crops suffer because less honey production means less managed bee colonies to pollinate nearly $20 billion in U.S. farm output. This includes crops such as diverse as almonds, apples, oranges, melons, blueberries, broccoli, tangerines, cranberries, strawberries, vegetables, alfalfa, soybeans, sunflower, and cotton. In fact, honeybees pollinate about 1/3 of the human diet. Honest packers and importers also suffer as they face the decision to either, 1, lose market share to their colluding competitors, or 2, participate directly in these illicit and illegal trade schemes. Finally, consumers face the risk that illicit, often adulterated honey is entering uninspected into the food supply. In past cases, Chinese honey has been found to contain antibiotics and heavy metals. The European Union has even banned Chinese honey as a result. 10 years ago, prior to the 2001 anti-dumping order, China shipped nearly 60 million pounds of honey annually to the United States. While China now ships very little honey directly to the United States, the volume of honey entering transshipped through other countries has more than made up for it. Most notably, record levels of honey were imported into the United States from Malaysia, Indonesia, India, and Taiwan in 2010. Together, these countries exported more than 60 million pounds. However, none of these countries have commercial beekeeping operations capable of producing anywhere near 60 million pounds. In fact, according to our research and admissions of the Malaysian government, that country has only 25 beekeepers with the capacity to export a mere 45,000 pounds annually. ICE and CBP and the Department of Justice have succeeded in prosecuting numerous honey launderers in such places as Chicago and Seattle. They have also managed to pressure Malaysia and Indonesia into slowing transshipments in the first quarter of 2011. However, just as one hole is patched, another springs open. For example, imports from Vietnam have surged more than 1,000% since the same time last year. Similarly, there are reports of more than 100 containers of honey being shipped in one day from regions within India that produce a mere 20 containers in an entire year. As I like to say, it is comparable to a chop shop operation. You can catch as many car thieves as possible, but as long as the chop shop goes undisturbed, they will simply find another thief, and just as many cars will go through the shop as much economic harm will be done. Therefore, while we continue to support the targeted enforcement of foreign producers and importers, we also strongly urge shining a bright light on the demand side of the equation. Without certain packer and importer collusion, there is no market for transshipped honey. And without a market for transshipped honey, domestic producers and companies that believe in fair play can flourish. We are prepared with data and information to assist in further investigations and prosecutions. In addition, we strongly urge this committee to revisit the new shipper bonding privilege, a one-time lucrative loophole for Chinese producers and exporters, willing to break the law until Congress closed the loophole in 2006. Unfortunately, the fix was only temporary and expired in 2009. Market data suggests that certain shippers may be laying the foundation to again exploit this loophole to the detriment of the domestic honey market. By slowing the demand for transshipped and other illicit honey, closing the new shipper loophole, providing more tools to our officials at CBP, Customs, and ICE, and by better ensuring communications with industry stakeholders and between agencies, this committee can help to minimize the risk of adulterated honey being sold as pure honey in the U.S. food chain, restore the integrity of U.S. trade law, collect substantial anti-dumping duties for the U.S. Treasury, and preserve the domestic honey industry as well as the agricultural sectors and the agricultural sector jobs that rely on it. I thank you, and I look forward to any questions you may have.